everybody?
Hey.
We are going to be doing something new here. We are going to I'm going to do a secondary podcast with this one.
Hello.
For anybody who doesn't know, this is my wife, Dani, and we are going to do the Burley Outdoors Podcast.
Yeah.
Or the BOP.
The Bop. We're millennials. It's fine.
BOP.
The Bop.
We are going to kind of talk about, I don't know, like our relationship and sharing it in the outdoors and kind of the cool aspects of being a husband-wife duo that like to do stuff outside.
For sure.
And, we want to kind of talk about some of the fun stuff that we experience, some of the challenges, the frustrations, and then specifically too some stuff that females go through or experience or have to endure with trying to be outdoors women.
Yeah, in multiple different sports too, not just fishing or hunting, but a little bit of both.
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit of everything. Just being outside and like defying some of the stereotypes that typically exist with women and
Not enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, and or just like the industry is not really like accommodating for women.
That's accurate.
So that's going to be kind of what we do, and we're going to hopefully try to do this every week. We kind of decided that we most conveniently can film on a Friday, and we have a lot of stuff going on. Not 100% sure on how fast I can get things edited and when our release schedule will be, but more than likely we'll be filming on Fridays.
Yep.
And probably weekly? Bi-weekly?
Yeah, I would say
Weekly?
at least bi-weekly.
I think weekly would be cool. Pending schedules and having actual tangible stuff to talk about. We'll see how it goes. This is new. I enjoy doing these podcasts. Obviously, hopefully, some of you guys have listened to the Wilderness Whiskey Roundtable with Ty. But I think this is something cool that we can do, and I like doing them. So I think this is a neat way to
put all the things together.
Yeah. So, do you want to do a little bit about like our background? I think most people probably, if they've listened to our other podcast, probably know a little bit about mine, but
as far as like
yourself,
just me,
you as a person,
and then us as a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're watching the video, I have mittens on because I run cold.
It's cold in here.
And it's cold in here. My name is Danielle. I am 29, almost 30.
29.
I currently work in ministry. Went to school for elementary education and just kind of transitioned into that role of ministry. So I still use my teaching background. It just looks a little bit different in your day-to-day life. So it's something I really enjoy. I grew up watching my dad hunt and fish and do all of the things, and kind of grew up with the stereotype of when the men go hunting, the women go shopping, which isn't
cooking.
bad. Well, yes, it was a team effort, the cooking part.
Get your butt in the kitchen.
And it wasn't a bad thing. That's just how I grew up and what we knew. So it's been super fun to actually be able to spend a little bit more time in the outdoors. And I mean, I grew up fishing and stuff, but definitely not the hunting part. That kind of came along when Max and I got together. So it's been fun for him to kind of teach me the ropes on hunting specifically, waterfowl and all of that. And I think I started turkey hunting 2 seasons ago.
Yep.
So we didn't really get a chance to get out this year since we were so busy, but we got out a few times 2 seasons ago. So that's been super fun, just to get to learn a little bit more about the ins and outs of what all of that looks like. So
Yeah, so kind of how we started our relationship with the outdoors. I grew up doing it, and I kind of got disconnected with it a little bit. Just paths in life, we weren't really doing it a ton. We were together. We were doing kind of like our bodybuilding stuff.
Yep.
And kind of transitioned out of all of that and got back into the outdoors.
Yeah, and that kind of happened during COVID. I mean, really, gym shut down, life just transitioned into all outdoor stuff. And so it was super easy to go, why haven't we been just doing this and really enjoying a different piece of life that we kind of took advantage of, I think.
And we fished through a lot of this still.
sure.
That was something we never really like hindered away from, but like waterfowling was always a huge part of my life, and I kind of stopped doing that for quite a while. I mean, shortly after graduating and moving down to Iowa, I didn't take it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it, so I didn't take much, and didn't really do that for, gosh, I would say over 5 years. Probably.
I was gonna say it's at least 4 or 5.
Probably 19 to 23 to 25. I don't even remember when we started back up, but
21, 22. Because we lived in Mankato, and that's when we had the duck boat in the parking lot of our apartment complex.
You're saying the year of 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Not the age of 21.
Oh, yes,
22.
correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we kind of slowly started, and by slowly, I mean I jump headfirst into everything, but kind of slowly started getting back into all of that stuff. And, it was kind of interesting because I was gone for a while. We kind of jumped around places that we lived. So, refamiliarizing yourself with the area. Obviously not having connections with many of the landowners.
Correct.
Until you start to get out and do a lot of that stuff. So it was interesting. The first year was kind of complicated. We did a lot of hopping around. We did a lot of scramble style hunts, and I don't like doing those style of hunts, but that's kind of how our first year hunting went. It's kind of the same thing from our fishing. We would just fish wherever we could. We'd fish the rivers for catfish, or we would, fish the pond close to our house, or whatever it may be. We did really enjoy doing that stuff together.
Yeah.
And obviously now that's progressed into something significantly deeper where we look for something to do outside year round. So we picked up the turkey hunting. So that
Darn turkey hunting.
Darn freaking turkey. But it is something for us to do outside together, experience new things, new challenges, new stuff. So yeah, we do, your turkey hunting, then you transition into spring fishing. Then we have camp. So a good chunk of our open water season is focused on that type of stuff.
Yep.
You came up to camp last year for a little while, and we got to do some pretty intense walleye fishing.
Yeah, and I'd never really caught a walleye before that.
Yeah,
I'd seen them be caught and watch you catch however many, but to actually catch one myself, it was super fun just because it's another thing that you get to chunk off your list.
Yeah, so then you add that in there. We used to be extremely big bass fishermen.
Used to be. I love bass fishing.
Yes, we still absolutely love it, but it's a little more complicated to make it work now. But we'll be doing significantly more of it as I come and go back and forth between camp and everything. So, and then we do waterfowl.
Yep.
And then we ice fish. And that's kind of like the standard of our season. But as things kind of change and weather and stuff like that happen, we're contemplating on doing some deer hunting.
Yeah.
Doing some saddle hunting, archery, deer hunting. Fall turkey is always an option. We try to do something that, like I said, bridges gaps between seasons. But with the waterfowl season we had this year, it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of complicated. So, we're kind of looking at trying to come up with something that we can do in the fall when the ice maybe isn't quite ready, but there's no birds. What do you do so that you're not just sitting at home wallowing in your sorrows?
Not wallowing. We don't wallow.
So that's kind of the gist of like our background and our history. it's just we kind of fell in love with it, and then we kind of just dove into it, and now it's like we're looking for every opportunity we can to do it. Um,
Yeah, I think for me personally, like the reason why I got into it so heavy is because hearing you first like start talking about it, it's super interesting. Like if any of you have a spouse, when they're super passionate about something, like you just want to hear them talk about it, because that's when like their face lights up and they're just like super excited about something, and it's fun to be able to share in that. I think one of my favorite parts about waterfowl hunting specifically with you, is that it's like right after getting all set up, like, okay, getting up super early in the morning, not really my jam,
yeah.
but I'll do it because I enjoy spending time with you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, get up super early, make sure that you get the spot that you need, right? Because we do a lot of like public hunting.
Yeah.
And then, everything's set up. It's like 20 minutes before shooting light is available, and everything, like the world starts waking up, and it's just like that super serene time of like just being with your person. And I don't know, just like reveling in like nature and the beauty that is in front of us.
Well, and that's like, I think that's where it gets so cool, because exactly what you said, and then you get to double down and you get to spend it with the person that you care the most about.
Right.
Like, you can't ask for anything better. Like, I don't know. I think that's so special.
Yeah.
And I will say too, like going off of what you were talking about as far as waking up early, for the male spouses out there, try to do things that make it more comfortable for your significant other.
You've done a really good job at that.
Like, sure, yeah, I'm sure you hate that I, am out at the crack of dawn, or not even before the moon comes up. But like,
I gotta tell a quick thing. So it was our first year hunting. I take that back. My first year hunting waterfowl. And Max gets so excited about this spot. He's like, I got the perfect spot. It's a public spot. There's going to be tons of ducks. Like, this is in the heat of like early teal, right? And so we know like everybody's going to be going out. And so Max, the night before, he goes, okay, we got to leave the house at 2 a.m. I'm like, listen.
Excuse me?
So I'm thinking in my head, what did I sign up for? But it's going to be great and blah, blah, blah. And so I was very grateful. One of the things he did to accommodate me is he had everything packed. He had all of my gear that that he knew I would need to stay warm. He had it all laid out on the couch. And then he'd give me a warning, like, Danielle, I'm going to get you up in 10 minutes. You have 5 minutes until you need to be up. And then it's okay, we gotta go. Like, you gotta get up, you gotta go. And so then he'd drive to the location and I'd get to sleep in the passenger seat. So there's many things that you do to accommodate me.
Yeah, and I will say now, like, we've gotten to the point where it's like you just stay in bed and show up.
Yeah.
And I'll go lock it down, which, that sucks. We'd sleep apart for whatever that few hours. I don't typically sleep even because I get so excited, but I'm accurate. Like, okay, like I'll go out at midnight. I'll, either hang out in the vehicle, camp out, or I'll get the boat loaded in and I'll go lock down the spot on a public lake or whatever. And then, just show up at a reasonable time. Like, I don't even care if you don't want to show up to set decoys. Like, get here an hour early, I'll come get you, or whatever.
Yeah, and that's definitely changed within the last year, I would say. Because for the first 2 seasons, at least, I think I was always out with you.
Yeah.
Like, we'd go in the car together, especially because all of these spots were new to me. And so I was like, I don't know how to get there. I don't want to drive there by myself. And plus, like, some of the locations that we hunt for waterfowl specifically is like, you're walking in through big giant reeds. So if you don't have a good path that you're going, like, I frankly don't want to get lost.
Well, and a lot of it comes down to like a safety thing too. Like, at the end of the day, like, safety does come into play as far as like, some stuff maybe you shouldn't be just doing yourself.
Yeah.
I don't make a lot of those decisions unless I know factually that it is safe. But, you know, if there is something new or something that I'm uncertain of, obviously, yes, you know, have somebody with you. But, you know, a lot of this stuff now, as we've been doing this for a long time, is very familiar to us. And we know when you need to get out there to beat people out there.
Right.
We know what it's going to entail, how to attack it, stuff like that. So,
Yeah, for sure.
let's see. What do you think the challenges are as a couple who spend time outdoors together?
As a couple who spends out time
Yeah.
time outdoors?
We'll talk about like female specific stuff a little later in the episode. But
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Maybe just the balance between, like, needing rest.
okay.
Like the way, so like us as a couple, Max's rest looks different than my rest. And so like Max's rest is being outdoors 24/7 basically, and just, you know, whether he's laying in a field blind or, you know, sitting in the field in an A-frame or whatever that looks like, usually like that's rest for him.
Yeah, or like, I mean, even like if I don't have anything to be doing, like it might be out trap shooting, or it might be shooting the bow, or like just tuning things, or like crazy enough, like going out and brushing a blind. Like not really rest, but like,
So
you know,
his rest is not like a
just-
physical rest. It's like
Right.
a brain rest.
Right.
Whereas mine is more of a physical rest. Like I just want to be able to just be, whether that's on a couch or in the bathtub or, you know,
Right.
it looks a little bit different. So I think that that's maybe a challenge, is like being okay with, you know, either you going out and hunting a time by yourself or, you know, me meeting you later or whatever that looks like. That way I can have some downtime a little bit.
Yeah, and I think on my side of that too is like understanding that is important for you as well. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that need to be actively done a lot of times in, you know, the hobbies that we do, and stuff that, like, one, I like spending time with you. Two, like, I could use, you know, a little
extra set
extra
of
help
hands.
is never gonna hurt.
Absolutely.
But also understanding like this is a mind break for me, but it's not for you, so it feels like work sometimes, and that's not great.
Yeah.
So kind of one of those things, and I've came to terms with that, you know, and like I said, it is a mind break for me. Do I like doing it by myself all the time? No. Would I rather be doing it with you? Yes, but you know, it's something that's got to get done. It's a mind break for me. You can decompress. And
Yeah, and there are times too where I'll, you know, either come out and help you do something, help clean up decoys, help move some
just
stuff around.
finding the balance behind it too. You know, it's like, come out till you're done, or till you want to go home, and go home.
Yeah,
You know, help out for a little bit, whatever. But
for sure.
what are some of your like favorite memories, moments, outings?
So I think we are over by Elysian. Do you remember that, like, around the bend, Elysian, where there was hunters behind us that one morning on the opposite side of the road, and they would like shoot when they were super
Sitting
high.
on the buckets?
Yes.
Yeah, that was in the Legion. Yeah.
Yes, but it was not that hunting
Also,
time.
we don't talk about specific places on
Oh,
the podcast.
so sorry.
Can't be giving away spots.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Well,
anyways.
anyways, I think it was, we didn't even hunt this time. We were scouting, but this is a huge memory that sticks out for me because we were scouting on the opposite side of that area where we were like, oh, there's like a little pocket of water and nobody has blazed a trail through here. And so let's just try. We had gone early in the morning. Do you remember this? And it was still dark. And so, like, I should say, Max is the first person that taught me how to walk in waders. Like, never owned a pair of waders, never blah, blah, blah. And he worked so hard to finally find me a pair of waders that actually work for me, that like
Fit good.
and they stay on my feet and they're
They're
not
warm.
Yes. And so I finally had these, like, a good pair of waders, and he's in front of me, and this is like mud that I had never experienced before in my life. And mind you, I'm like 5'3".
Yeah.
And how tall are you? 5'10" and a half?
Yeah.
And so he's just, sending it.
So that is something that, like, I don't know what it is, but like I've been able to do it.
Yeah.
I get through stuff that like most people don't want to go into, and like.
And it's easy for you. I mean, you get out of breath
it's
sometimes.
not easy.
Well, it looks
don't
easy.
even say it's easy.
But he does it quick. And so I think that it's easy. So he's gone. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm up past my knees in mud. This man is gone. And then all of a sudden I stop and I'm just heaving with breath. I cannot breathe. I'm totally out of shape. I don't know. I think it wasn't super cold outside.
No, it was because I remember like we had found mallards and wood ducks over there,
Yes.
so it had to be like
Fall.
yeah, well obviously, but
Yeah.
it had to be probably early October maybe.
For sure.
Like
So all of a sudden I pause and I'm like, she's not going anywhere. I can't move. I can't turn around. I can't do anything. But you were so patient with me. Finally, you turned around and you're like, just forget it. Like, there's no way we're going to make it in through there, especially me. You probably could have made it.
yeah.
You probably could have made it. And I probably would have just sat right where I was and hung out. Like, waited for shooting light and like hid. But it took me 10 minutes to turn around because I was so stuck. And so he went back around me and literally yanked me out of there. So that's like one of my like biggest memories. Was it super joyful? It was interesting. But yeah.
Some of my favorites are, I think, one was the first year with your first wood ducks.
I'm a first goose.
Then your first goose that you cried on. So that was hilarious.
Kind of sad.
You know, and it is because like when you haven't really done it, and it comes down to like, yeah, you're taking a life, or but once you kind of learn the appreciation of it, and we eat all of our stuff, we make sure that it's harvested and
Right.
and responsibly taken care of and stuff, so
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. The wood ducks was one of my favorite because I still remember.
The fieldwood ducks?
Nope, this was the little pond.
Oh, you got a picture. Oh, yeah. Wow.
When we hodgepodged all of our camouflage together and we had nothing that matched.
That's a Walmart variety. That's wow.
But we had
What year was that?
I don't know. That would have been the first year we hunted together.
Wow.
This is the very first hunt that you did with me.
Wow. You can tell by the way I'm holding the guns like they're shopping bags.
Yeah. It's like a purse.
That's amazing. It doesn't even look like me.
But three stud wood ducks, and just the way your face lit up in that was awesome.
Yeah.
Then we got.
Oh yes, the goose. That's my first.
That's your first goose.
Yes.
That wasn't the one you cried on.
No. That was a different goose because he landed in our spread. That's why I cried. He landed in our spread like 20 minutes before.
He was way early. We spent a lot of time talking
he was
to him.
way far out, and he just kind of toddled his way in, and then you're like, yeah, bang. See you later, Jeffrey. And I cried. I did.
This was another one of my favorites. Was the cornfield wood ducks.
Oh man, that was so cool.
That hunt didn't really quite go as we had planned, but that was, just an amazing show that we got to sit next to each other and watch.
Oh yeah, that was crazy amount of wood ducks. So loud. It was cool.
I think about like your biggest bass and stuff like that. Like those are all really big memories for me.
My biggest northern in my little tugboat.
That was hilarious. We only had one kayak at the time and didn't have any other boats or anything, so we went and bought a inflatable raft.
And Max would pull me behind him. He attached me to the kayak and he'd just paddle across the lake. And that's where I caught my first northern, and it was huge.
Yeah, that was a nice one. That was definitely, I think mid to low 30s. It was a big fish.
It was huge.
Yeah.
For me.
So I don't know. That's some of my favorite stuff. Like the other one, like for the first year turkey hunting, when we had started getting some birds gobbling, and then just like the eyebrow raise and like the big eye look, and it's like, whoa, like that's that's what that you know, like that's what that sounds like, and it's like
So
some of that stuff
cool.
is so cool.
For sure.
And like the nice thing is with this stuff, it never stops.
Nope.
Like there's always something new. There's always a new experience. There's a new way to do something. Like
It's always going to be beautiful.
yeah,
Like the outdoors is always beautiful. I had a Facebook memory that actually popped up on my phone yesterday that was like just a gorgeous sunset. And I remember that hunt vividly because that was the hunt that we were out in a field and they landed just over the hump in the field. And we literally crawled over the field hump to try to get a shot off. And then it just didn't happen. We spent tons of time cleaning up. And then all of a sudden you turn around and there's this gorgeous sunset. That's just like everything's
it's all
worth
worth it. Yeah. Or like I just had the memory of that huge spread that we ran in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, we're talking knee-high snow. We put out almost every decoy that we owned.
Yeah.
And then you look over and it's like somehow the walkway of how we laid decoys out was like a perfect cross.
Ugh,
And it's
so
like just,
cool.
it's just stuff like that that's like, it makes it's so fulfilling. And it, you know, you're like, God, it's freezing or trudging through all this snow and all of this stuff. And then when you actually sit down and look at the like beauty of it, it's, you know,
And you take a deep breath and like revel in just the beautiful outdoors. It's like never gets old.
okay, let's talk about your personal challenges and triumphs as an outdoors woman. Things that you have battled through as far as challenges and stuff like that.
First thing that comes to mind is gear. Like it's getting better.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. DSG has a beautiful line of women's fishing gear. And it's comfortable and it fits. Like to find clothing that fit and keep you warm is so hard. Because like Sitka, I mean, they only have so much stuff.
Well, that's the thing is like Sitka does have a women's line, and we did make a point to actually get that for you, and it extends your season significantly. But when you look at how narrow their women's line is, especially from a waterfowl standpoint in comparison to the men's line, it's pretty substantial.
It's huge.
I mean, like the fact of, you know, it's maybe not even a third of what the catalog for men is.
Correct. I mean, if you go into like, I'm not going to name the store, but if you go into like a big store and it has at least 4 different sections of men's Sitka, just Sitka, men's Sitka alone, whether it's actual outdoor gear that like with their different style of like hunting, right? Whether it's the marsh or whatever.
Right. Yeah, you got
Timber.
the marsh section. You got your subalpine.
And then they've got sweatshirts and t-shirts and hats and pants and all the things. And then you have a section of women's Sitka stuff that has 5 pairs of pants. They're all the same pant. They're all the same style.
probably all the same size.
Just about. And then 3 sweatshirt options.
And a jacket.
And a jacket. And it's like, well, like, I've seen some brands that are pretty good, but there's not, and like my body type's weird. I'm short and like curvy.
Big butt.
And so it's like, in order to find something that actually fits and stays where it needs to stay, it's really difficult.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a huge thing, you know, because like, I mean, in that first picture, you're wearing all of my old shit.
Yes.
Rolling up pant legs,
Yep.
and I mean, and it's fine for the beginning of the season, but when you get to the point of now, we are negative degrees every day.
Correct.
And you expect somebody to still be able to try to go out and chase honkers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think that's the biggest challenge specifically for, I can't speak for all women, but of the hunters that I know that are females, that's our typical struggle, is that we just would like a selection of a different style pant or something that will actually be suited for a woman's shape versus, well, we're just gonna, take this men's pant and then make it shorter.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
No.
I remember the hunt. It was so goddamn windy and it was pretty cold and we were doing a water duck hunt. And that was the point when I decided, like, because we called that hunt early.
Because
you were so
miserable.
Cold,
yeah.
that I was like, we need to get you in, like, quality female fitted hunting clothing because, like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to be out there. We were killing birds.
Right. Exactly.
And we just had to call it short because it was miserable for you.
Right. When you stop
so
feeling your
unfortunate.
extremities, then that's an issue.
And it's still not perfect. I will say, I am obviously a firm believer in Sitka stuff. I do think their layering system is significantly better. I don't think that there is a weather that I couldn't hunt in with the proper layering. But you don't have access to all of that either.
No.
So, I mean, we're missing some stuff for you, and that's planned to get so that it is more comfortable. But at the same time, like you said, there's not the perfect layering system yet for women still. So,
yeah.
That being said, I will say, like, from a wader standpoint,
Gator waders.
Waders.
I love my gator waders. They've got like the cinch right in the middle that really helps, like, and it's adjustable. That little buckle that they have.
Sheen makes a good female's wader pair. Kind of expensive, but there's options out there.
For sure. I like the gator waders just because of the texture that they have on the bottom of the boot. And it's
yeah, they're aggressive. Like,
they're
the
aggressive.
treads are aggressive.
Yes, and that is like super helpful for me personally because I stink at walking through mud.
Yeah.
So I need something that's really grippy.
Yeah, and they're a cool pattern. I mean, they're kind of close to like a Sitka style pattern. I don't know. They're neat. I like them a lot.
Comfortable.
And then, yeah, like you said, DSG.
I love DSG stuff.
They,
I got their parka. That's like the fuzzy. Oh my gosh. Amazing. It's got like little side zips. I have their float bibs that has like a drop seat, which makes going to the bathroom obviously way easier.
That's the other thing. You think about putting all these layers on. Women don't have the luxury of just whipping it out and going to the bathroom.
Don't.
So it's like, they're obviously a company that's designed by women for women.
And we love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have summer fishing gear. They have, they have some camouflage stuff. They have some blaze orange stuff. They have some options throughout their stuff. Pretty impressive. I mean, they even have, like, your boots have the BOA system on them, and like, there's a lot of good stuff going on there, which I can really appreciate.
For sure.
What do you think is, like, your favorite all-time piece of gear that you have?
Oh gosh. Specifically for hunting?
Whatever. It's like something that's specific for women in the outdoors.
That's a good question. Well, we were just talking about if I could do one outdoor activity, like if I could only pick one, I'm going to pick ice fishing.
Yeah.
And for me to be able to explain that to you, I just can't. I don't know what the reason is. It's just so serene. Like, you don't hear shots going off around you. You don't hear, men grunting, making weird sounds. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just like there's something different about. But I also love winter.
Yeah.
Like, I love the like icy scenery, and just to like, I don't know, pulling a fish through an ice hole is like way more rewarding than just reeling it through open water. I don't know what it is. So that being said, I'm probably going to choose my DSG float bibs.
Yeah.
Number one, because they have a drop seat, which makes life so much easier instead of having to take off 7 million layers.
Yeah.
And they are length adjustable on the bottom because I'm 5'3". My legs are short.
Nice for For your shortness, yeah.
Yes, and so you can button them up, and they don't drag on the water or on the ice. They're super warm, and then the like midsection is adjustable so that they actually, like, if you have like a female figure, you can like taper them in so that it doesn't look like you're wearing a big blob.
Yeah,
They're actually super
you can
cute.
adjust them based on whatever your waist size is and everything.
Yes. And they're comfortable. The straps that they have they don't dig into your arms. They're adjustable, and they're just comfy, and they're warm. That's my biggest thing. I need to be warm when I'm outside, and they keep me warm. So, and safe.
Right. Yes. They float, they fit. I mean, it's just a really quality piece of gear. So I would say check them out if you are looking for something like that is female specific.
Yes.
What do you think, like, some of the biggest stereotypes or barriers that you've had to overcome? Because obviously, like, the industry is primarily men.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just talked about it from a equipment standpoint. Like, there's a reason that they make more men stuff than women stuff. Do I think it's right? No. I mean, just at the end of the day.
But I mean, that's your market. I get it.
It is, right? You know, and like you said, it's changing. It's progressing. I mean, it's always changing. You know, like, the more that we do this stuff as far as like the social media and all of that stuff, you know, like, you come in contact with more and more females that that do it, and not only do it, but they do it well, and they do it from every aspect.
Yeah.
What are some of the stereotypes and stuff like that you've experienced?
Jeez. I don't know. Probably just like people not understanding that like women enjoy being outdoors. That it's okay that we get dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like there was a time where we were fishing or something. I can't remember what we were doing, open water fishing. And there was some group of people next to us, and they just looked at me crazy when I was baiting my own hook. It's like,
that's a big one. Is like like when people think that you can't do it, because that's bullshit. I mean, if you got a pair of legs and a pair of hands, you can pretty much do any of it. It's just you have the drive and the desire and the
knowledge.
and the knowledge. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, there is nothing physically stopping anyone from doing it, right? Like I said, if you are a healthy, full appendaged human being, 99% of this stuff is
doable,
possible.
Yeah.
You know, so you look at, just because you're a woman doesn't mean you can't or you shouldn't.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
I think it's hard too, because like I said, it's getting better. As far as like me actually seeing what other women do it, like specifically, we went up and did a pit hunt. And the first location that we pulled up to, there was another woman there. And I was like, oh, sick. Like, wait, we're going to pit hunt, and there's going to be another woman that I can talk to. And like, it's just a different vibe. Right. And then we realized that we were at the wrong spot, and we were going to the next one. And so I didn't end up getting to hunt with her.
We just stopped there to get torches burn off
so it's
frost
just,
on the decoys.
It's just a little different. Like when you're the only female that's hunting with 10 other males.
Did you see the very next day he had a group of just 3 chicks in the pit? That's all it was.
It's just different. Like to not feel singled out.
Yeah.
I think is a different vibe, because like at that same pit hunt, it's like, all right, boys, let's kill them. It's like, well,
yeah, but you know that's not what's meant from that either.
Yeah, but it's just like,
you know, like that's that person being
normal...
like being mad because they're like, "Hey guys, come on," and it's like,
no, but it was an excited thing.
Yeah,
it was like all right, let's kill them. Like they're ready for us, or we're ready for them. Blah blah.
But
blah,
that's
whatever.
what I mean. Like that's not like being gender.
No, not at all. And I know that it's not like it's not a blatant choice,
right,
for them to say that. But that's when like a lot of times you're seeing men.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, like we talked about too, it's like, you know, guys have the luxury of just going to the bathroom whenever they want. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you're not seeing a ton of gals getting into the pit blinds. Like, it's just there's stuff that's less convenient. So like, I don't know. I'd like to see people have little portable like RV toilets or even a bucket or
Just an option.
something that makes women feel a little bit more comfortable about doing these things, and they don't have
Included.
to climb out of the pit and walk 100 yards down the field and drop trowel in front of a bunch of guys. Like, you know, so from a comfortability standpoint, I think we'll see it continue to improve. But yeah, I could see how that would be kind of frustrating.
Yeah, we went to, what was it, like a sportsman show? It was that outdoors thing up in the cities area 2 summers ago. I can't remember what that was. That was when we got all those decoys.
Oh, yeah,
The fair.
game fair.
Yes, thank you. And there was a group of, I can't remember what the group was called, but it was all women outdoors, and they did like guided hunts and stuff like that.
We
and I was
have
like,
the card at home for them.
I don't know if it's her wilderness. I feel like that's what it is. I can't remember. Are you going to look really quick?
Yeah, let's see if I can find that.
But I just thought it was like, it would be such an interesting experience to see.
Because we bought shirts. This is it.
What is it called?
Her wilderness.
Her wilderness. Yeah.
So
Because I bought some of their gear.
yeah. So basically, it's just helping women own your wilderness. And they host these trips, and they got North Dakota couple snow bear ice fishing,
Whoa.
which is January 17th. It's expensive, but there's only one spot left too.
Oh.
But they do these things where, you know, it gets women outdoors. It gets them together with large groups of women. Obviously now they're doing some couples trips and stuff like that, which is cool. But it's not just fishing, hunting. I mean, we're talking ice fishing. We're talking snowmobiling. We're talking
They got a winery.
Mardi Gras, airboat tours,
Wow.
Oklahoma spoonbill fishing weekend, Merriam turkey hunting in Nebraska. Like, we should really start kind of digging into some of these things because they're really neat. And yeah, every Friday at 10 a.m. they open new registration for
New events.
Yeah. And, you know, some of the stuff has costs, some of it's free. You know, there's a lot of different things, but it's a cool way to, you know, like $7.95 to go down to Oklahoma and go spoonbill fishing. That's pretty sweet.
Right, for sure.
So yeah, check them out because that's kind of cool. We'll tag their page in the caption here, and
Yeah, they have some cute gear too.
Yeah, they did have some pretty sweet stuff.
Yeah, I remember I got I have their vest.
Yeah.
And then I think I got a sweatshirt too. I can't remember. Yeah, I did because it's that tan one.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got some cute stuff too.
Waterfowl, windbreaker, geese flying. Yeah, they're cool. So I think, yeah, check them out.
For sure.
What about like women can't shoot, or like why don't you just
that to me
get old Sniper Dan over here, or why don't you just like get in the kitchen and cook what I shot?
Yeah, I don't think anyone has the guts to say that to me. No, I just kidding.
Those are kind of the stereotypes that they're just dying.
Yeah, with I really do think so.
Naiveness of the world.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to, you know, like when I was originally talking about my childhood, like the women would go shopping and the men would go hunting. And, you know, that continued on through till I was, I don't know, 12, something like that. But my dad always took us fishing.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I think it was a safety thing, honestly. Like, just probably like he didn't think it was safe for girls to be out in the woods. And I don't know what all that is. But I think now it's different. Like, with knowledge, you can be safe.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you know how to be safe. I think I probably haven't experienced a ton of those stereotypes because when I'm out with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel comfortable talking about hunting and fishing and things like that because you've taught me about those things.
Well, and you actively try to learn too. So I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind you can go toe to toe on a lot of like topics and conversations. Like, you know, like You do. You try to actively learn. You ask questions. You want to understand things. Like, it's not just like you're like hanging on to my coattail,
Yeah.
you know, like, and I can appreciate that, you know, like,
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, you know, I'm hoping eventually you'll actually pick up a call, but
I can sort of goose call if I practice a lot.
yeah,
Duck
but you
call.
don't.
I can teal whistle.
Can't deal with that.
Teal whistle.
And it's, you know, it's everything helps. You know, you can be the jerk cord girl.
Exactly. I'll be the goose flag.
Yeah.
Just tell me when to hit it. No, I can hit it.
I think that covers a lot of it. I
Yeah.
think one thing too, like we were talking about doing some deer hunting, archery deer hunting, and you hadn't really ever shot a bow much before yesterday, really.
Yeah, I mean we've used bows like with carp fishing.
Yeah,
But that's a different.
We do some bow fishing, and you know they're a different style, and they're a lot lighter.
I was gonna say it's a different feel for sure because we got that bow tuned up yesterday. So shooting that for the first time was just like, it's another fun thing.
Yeah,
we get
and
to do.
that was something that I had wanted to bring up, and I kind of meant to bring it up earlier when we were talking about the things that we do together outdoors. But again, like seeing your face like light up and get excited after coming out of the little back room range and Shields there.
He only let me shoot it twice.
But
So
to
sad.
get that excited, and you know, like obviously we're gonna have to put a significant amount of arrows through it and get it tuned up, and you know, get it sighted in and everything.
For sure.
But to see you excited about that, like that's what I like. Like that's cool. And now that means we get to do something that we both enjoy and that you're excited about, and that's awesome.
And we get to learn something a little new, like try something different together.
And I mean, I've bow hunted in the past and stuff, and I had always, at the end of the day, preferred waterfowl hunting. So it was like, well, I would rather just go try to chase birds, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But now I'm at the point where it's like I can use experience and a little bit more logic, and like, you know, if it's not going to happen, maybe just do something else that I really enjoy doing also that has other potentials.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that's all going to fall. So I'm excited to see what our little bow
It's gonna be fun.
outings turn into. So
For sure.
and I think that's kind of everything I wanted to cover on the first one.
Okay.
Like I said, not 100% sure when it's going to go up. We'll try to stay consistent with whenever it does go up. I think something that we would like to do is if we get some questions from other couples, other females,
Yeah.
that we would like to kind of talk about some of that stuff that other people are experiencing or that we're hearing.
Yeah.
So-
Or like if you're a couple that's new to the outdoors, or if you're a woman that's new to the outdoors and you don't really know what to expect and just have questions and you want to ask, we'd love to answer those.
So yeah, don't hesitate to comment them, message them to our Burley Outdoors page. Like I said, I think this is something really cool that we can kind of do and talk about and share together. And I think there's a lot of other people that are in a similar boat.
Yeah.
I see a lot of couples doing outdoor stuff together. It makes me really happy. So
Yeah, and I think like for me personally, if you're a wife and your husband enjoys doing outdoors things, try them.
yeah,
Just try it.
yeah.
Even if it's like the first time you're like, wow, this is awful. Give it a second shot.
Well, and two, like I will say, like, do remember that that is their happy spot, and yeah, try like give it a true, honest shot. Like,
Yeah.
you know, go into it. You know, try to be as helpful as you can. Try to understand. Try to be quiet. Try to pick your feet up when you walk.
I learned the hard way.
You know, and just like be out there with him, and don't add, and like just be there. Like, it shouldn't be stressful. It should be enjoyable for everybody. Try to be understand. You know, like just try to learn. And I mean, it can turn into something like this where we love doing it, and some of our fondest memories come from it,
Yeah,
and that's really special.
for sure.
So, Anything else that you got, old Dano?
No, I was trying to think if we should have like a fun way to send it off, like a kitschy phrase or something. I'm coming up with a blank. You got anything? Shoot.
Like, follow, subscribe.
We'll see you later, or you'll hear us later.
Bye.
Bye.